Hello, MF Kraven here, and welcome to Less Than 10 Minute Reviews, a YouTube series where I take a look at niche titles, hidden gems, and often overlooked games to tell you whether or not you should buy them in less than 10 minutes. So if that's the type of content that you like, consider subscribing and liking this video. Today I take a look at Retail Company Simulator, a first-person simulator where you guessed it, run a retail store. Start with a little boutique where you supply Morty and Summer with all their shirt needs, then eventually grow your store to a department store that rivals Mervyn's, Robinson's Nay, and many more conglomerate giants. But is Retail Company Simulator any good? Or is it out of business for this life sim title? Let's find out. Graphics, sound, and art style. I won't lie to you. This looks pretty bad. The character models have this uncanny valley look and feel to them, and the music isn't much better. The only positive I have in regards to the art style, I would say, is the parody of the logos. Many sensible chuckles were had. Gameplay. While graphic, sound, and art style might not be Retail Company Simulator's forte, luckily the gameplay is. You start off in the small boutique like I said. First you name it, pick your logo, you then sign with a brand to carry their clothes in your shop, build a fitting room, and open your shop. Customer needs need to be met to gain XP. Their needs can be as simple as keeping clothing stock, having a short queue for the fitting room, and having a short queue to pay with the cashier. You then take the role of the cashier, ring out your customers, and watch your profits and levels rise. And that's pretty much it. You'll level up and have access to more prestigious clothing brands, the ability to pay for an expansion of your store. Eventually, you'll be able to hire a cashier and a stocker to help you with your shop needs as well. You have a few options to stock your merchandise on, and as far as I can tell, no clothing rack or wall is better than the other. It seems purely cosmetic. Price, $11.99 USD. How many hours estimated? I'm about 13 hours into my gameplay. I progressed quite a bit, not as much as I would like to, but I feel like I'm ready to properly review it. Is it playable on Steam Deck? I was actually surprised on how well it ran. Well, it might not be my favorite on it, as using controls for this game feels odd. You can if you want to, and it runs real good. I made a couple adjustments, like adding Enter as my L4 and G as my R4 so I wouldn't toss my inventory and just place it gently instead. My wish list. While I know this isn't an early access game, I've come across a few posts where the dev is taking suggestions on what to put on their game, and I won't include the customization of floor and wall or multiplayer as they have said it is in the works. Ability to set prices of items on computer. Ability to spend money on advertising like billboards outside or TV spots. Inclusion of a radio/TV for entertainment in-store. Maybe even the ability to just link a video, links, or podcast on the game. More decorations without restrictive borders. Uniforms for workers. More variety of clothing racks. Ability to micromanage employee jobs. Better pathfinding for customers trying to pay. See, some customers will line up on one cashier that has 3+ people waiting while my till is completely empty. And this is possibly the biggest one, but buying out different buildings. Instead of being limited to getting the building piece by piece, I like to build my own, in quotations, with two back entrances so I don't have to keep going from my warehouse to my shop. Final thoughts. I've always thought work simulation games were silly. Like, why on earth would anybody want to simulate working a monotonous job and not get paid for it? Yet here I am, 2 6-hour shifts later, and there's something so oddly satisfying running the store just the way I like it. Within reason, of course. Retail Company Simulator just works, no pun intended. It's so seamless. You buy merch, you sell merch, you buy more, invest in better merch, rinse and repeat. The leveling in the game serves for longevity as you unlock a little more for each level gained, and more clothing contracts, bigger store, bigger warehouse, more employees. At some points I felt like I was doing amazingly, over $50,000 in the bank, only for that to be drained for advancing contracts and expansions. But it's like they say, you gotta spend money to make money, right? And speaking of which, setting prices in a fluctuating market adds a little bit of micromanagement before each shift. See, it tells you like, oh, this item is worth more, this item is worth less. While I'm not always thrilled to change the price manually, as aforementioned in my wish list, I wish we could just do it on the computer. My store has become really big, and while remembering where stuff isn't a huge factor for me right now, I ponder if I'm gonna remember exactly where I place an article of clothing that is similar to another. The workers are a bit slow. When I hired my first cashier, I needed to buy another cash registers just so I can jump between stocking and sales whenever customers became frustrated. Luckily, then you unlock a stalker, and while he's a bit slow, and that's not my issue at all, but by the way, his speed was fixed in a recent patch, so A+ to the devs. My issue is that he just stocks whatever he wants. I love to micromanage his actions and have him prioritize things that are like at 0, 1, 2, and 3 stocked items. But sometimes I catch him stocking items I have 5 of in a shelf while customer complains they can't find a blue polka dot dress, for example. But just look at me. I'm complaining about my virtual coworkers, which begs the question, why am I having so much fun? Am I a slave to corporate America that I feel ever so fondly on becoming a CEO / the workhorse of the place? See, I work a 9 to 5 and relax. Relax how? By clocking into my 5 to 11 with Retail Company Simulator. I guess so, because lately I've come to terms that I'm more of a collector than a gamer, really. A never-expanding library of games that collects digital dust. Thousands spent, yet games not even installed. But not only was I intrigued by Retail Company Simulator, I was enamored by it. I spent 13 hours over the course of 3 days, something I haven't done in a while. While business / life sims are very niche and normally not my cup of tea, I'm glad to have played it, and I commend the developers for working on the game. Since playing it, they not only fixed the slow workers, but added decorations as well. Then the dev also claims that they're going to be looking in to see all the suggestions, all the feedback, and that's what actually prompted me to give this a proper review. It's not the prettiest game out there, but it's got integrity. It's satisfying, and most importantly, you have a little bit of fun. Would I recommend it? You bet I would. Buy it now. P.S. I'm adding the time with the game as retail experience to my resume.